Want to remind everybody, we hear your voices on this show, but we want to see your Pittsburgh fan caves, tattoos, rides, anything that makes you a Pittsburgh sports fanatic on our other KDKA sports show, Fan Nation. Be a part of KDKA Fan Nation, of course, with Rich Walsh, Daisy Jade. FanNation@KDKA.com is the email address in order to reach out to us. Josh Taylor and Jeff Hathhorn, down to the last couple minutes here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. Jeff, you are an alumnus of a Power 5 football program that has seen the college football playoff quite a bit. So this probably is a question that appeals to you in a couple different ways, but I must ask you. The talk of expanding the college football playoff to potentially 12 teams. This is something that I've wanted to see happen. I thought maybe 6, 8 at the most, but we're seeing as much as 12 here. Is this something that makes sense to you? Maybe a long time coming. Where are you on this particular issue?
Yeah, it's about time. I'm with you with 8. I think 8 is a nice number, but 12 is interesting. I know they're going to take the 6 highest-ranked conference champions, and I agree with that to an extent, but I think every Power 5 should have a seat. Make all those championship games worth something. So even if there's a 2-loss team in whatever conference, they should have the ability to win their conference and get in, because who knows, their conference, they could be beating up each other all year and have some really tough losses. And I would like to find a way that maybe 2 of those spots are not guaranteed to an underdog, but are kind of, allow a Cincinnati, UCF, teams like that to be able to get into the mix. I will say this is something I love. You have the first 4 games, where first 4 teams are byes. I love the idea of on-campus playoff games. I mean, can you imagine Beaver Stadium or Ohio Stadium or Notre Dame or Heinz Field for a college football playoff game at home? That would be amazing. That part I love, but I would like to see all the Power 5 conference champions get into the field automatically.
See, I kind of don't mind the thought of the top 6 rated conference champions, because you talked about UCF, you talked about Cincinnati. That gives a Coastal Carolina a shot because they were ranked pretty high.
Boise.
So it does open up that conversation for one of those 2 teams. But to your point, having the Power 5 conferences represented, I think that's the thing that sticks out. But here's the part where it kind of got maybe abused over the years. It's a terrible word to use, but maybe taken advantage of. Of the 28 slots handed out, I believe it was maybe 28 or 32 slots. My math is terrible. But over the years, 24 of them were handed pretty much to the same 4 programs. Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma. They pretty much took up most of it. Those are Power 5 programs. So I like the thought of every Power 5 program having a seat, but you left one conference out when I'm talking about it. There was no one in the Pac-12, and some might argue the Pac-12 doesn't deserve a seat. They may not be, too wrong in their argument, but I guess we'll have to see as time goes along. They got a couple years to figure it out, because it's not like you're going to do it right away.
You want to make sure, though, the West Coast is happy. You want to have them to have a seat in there. And I agree with what you say. And here's one fear, that you have a 12-team playoff and somehow they vote like 5 SEC teams in.
Yeah.
Couldn't you see that happen? I could absolutely see them doing that. And team, one-loss Pac-12 or an undefeated, Cincinnati or Boise or somebody like that gets hosed.
Yeah, and that's really one of those things where they have to really look at a cap for what teams they get in, because I could totally see a Paul Feinbaum or somebody making an argument for so many SEC teams getting in. It kind of just gave me a headache. I covered the SEC for a number of years, so I can only imagine what some of my colleagues would say when they heard that kind of idea. In the meantime, we got to wrap it up here. Thanks to Jeff for his time. Thanks, you guys, for watching. Thanks for your calls. Thanks for your tweets. As I say often, it is you guys that make this show great. We will see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Josh Taylor. See you later.